The Indian government has intensified its crackdown against Khalistani terrorism. As per government order, India's law enforcement agencies have been directed to cancel the OCI card of 19 terrorists who are of Indian origin but reside as fugitives in other countries. The government has also ordered confiscation of their assets and properties in India. The decision is being seen in the context of the latest standoff between India and Canada, following allegations by Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau that Indian agents are behind the killing of designated terrorist Hardeep Singh Nijjar. US Ambassador to Canada says the input on the killing of a wanted terrorist came out of intelligence shared among Five Eyes partners. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau has alleged involvement of an Indian agent in the killing of a designated Khalistani terrorist. The inputs for which originated from the Five Eyes channels. Five Eyes is an intelligence sharing pact between the United States, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand and Canada, and was first set up during the Second World War before being expanded in the late 1950s. Pakistan's caretaker Prime Minister Anwar-ul-Haq Khakhar arrived in London from New York following his participation in the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. This visit to London comes amid speculations that he might have a secret meeting with PMLN Supremo Nawaz Sharif in the British capital. On Sharif's return to Pakistan in October, Khakhar maintains that the former premier will be treated under the laws of Pakistan. Nepal's Prime Minister Pushpa Kamal Dahal has said that Nepal will continue to actively participate in China's Belt and Road Initiative. The announcement came after Dahal met with Chinese President Xi Jinping at the sidelines of the Asian Games in eastern China. The declaration came during Prime Minister Dahal's maiden visit to China after taking office last year. In the Indian state of Manipur, Chief Minister N. Biren Singh has announced that internet services will be open to the public again. Mobile internet services, the primary means of internet access for most individuals, remained prohibited for the past 4.5 months. Broadband services were partially reinstated under specific conditions by a government directive issued on July 25th. Earlier, the Manipur government asked people to surrender illegal weapons within 15 days or face comprehensive search operations by the security forces of India. Tens of thousands of Israelis took to the streets as protests against judicial reforms continued for the 38th week. The protests came even as Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu toured the United States. Before leaving for the US, Netanyahu had accused the protesters of joining forces with the Palestinian Liberation Organization and Iran. Saturday's demonstrations were held at 150 locations across the country, which included a march from Tel Aviv's square ahead of the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. Veterans of the 1973 conflict were the main voices in those rallies. Protests continue in Armenia as thousands of people take to the streets of Yerevan. Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan hopes ethnic Armenians can stay in Azerbaijan's Karabakh region. Pashinyan has said that Yerevan would accept them. However, a massive resettlement would only happen if it becomes impossible for Karabakh Armenians to remain there. The Polish opposition has accused the ruling government of being complicit in a visa scandal. They accused the government of issuing visas at an accelerated pace to migrants without any proper checks. With Polish opposition has ruled it has the biggest Poland scandal in the 21st century, Germany has also chimed in. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has urged Poland to explain the visa scandal. The government of Panama has said it hopes to have a plan in place with neighboring Costa Rica to manage the flow of migrants attempting to cross the Darien Gap. A fire at a golf ball factory in Taiwan killed at least 6 people, 3 of whom were firefighters. The fire injured more than 100 people, most of them workers. Several people were trapped inside due to the blasts, which caused a section of the factory to collapse. Taiwan's president visited the scene and expressed condolences to the victims' families. She said an investigation into the cause of the tragedy is underway. An official with the Pingtung Fire Department told local media that chemical peroxide stored inside the factory could have been the cause of the one large and several small explosions. A police officer has been killed and another wounded during a shooting in a village in northern Kosovo. Prime Minister Albin Kurti described the incident as a terrorist action. He said the attackers were heavily armed and were wearing masks. Kosovo police said in a statement that 2 heavy vehicles without license plates fired at the police units with an arsenal of firearms, including hand grenades and arm launchers. Tensions have run high in Kosovo after clashes in May when more than 90 NATO peacekeeping soldiers were injured. Tropical storm Ophelia came ashore along the Atlantic coast. It doused the region with torrential downpours and unrelenting winds that caused flooding and widespread power outages. Nearly 8 million people across the mid-Atlantic, from New York to South Carolina, were under flood warnings on Saturday after making landfall near Emerald Isle in North Carolina. Ophelia is moving inland on a northerly path, causing heavy downpours along its way. Costa Rica's Foreign Minister Arnoldo Andre has urged the United Nations member states to rethink their relationship with planet Earth. Andre has defended the measures the Central American country implemented to protect the environment and its commitment to address environmental crises. In his speech, the Costa Rican official also called on the 193 members of the international body to take action to manage migratory flows and financial support to integrate migrants. People around Sao Paulo are riding out to escape sweltering heat wave by bathing in water fountains and even pools. Large part of Brazil is expected to suffer from extreme heat this week, with temperatures to go above 40 degrees Celsius. According to meteorologists, atmospheric conditions will prevent the arrival of cold fronts in most of the country over the next few days, prompting a long sequence of sunny days with heat well above the normal levels. British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is considering a crackdown on smoking to phase out the use of cancer sticks for the next generation. Now, according to a report by The Guardian, Sunak is looking at measures similar to those introduced in New Zealand last December. The aim was to make the country smoke-free by 2025 and save the health system billions of dollars. Reports suggest that Sunak is also reconsidering levying a £10 fine or those who miss their medical appointments. These new steps are being perceived to be a new consumer-focused drive by the government before next year's elections. Peruvian workers have unearthed 8 bundles of funeral belongings believed to be around 1,000 years old. Burial site was found while installing a gas pipeline in the capital Lima. According to archaeologists, the site may have been a cemetery for children who died from severe anemia. 6 of the bundles were found around 100 meters deep. As per experts, these burials might be linked to the pre-Inca Chima and Chanque cultures that developed in Nat, which is now northern Peru and along the central coastline. Still in Peru, the country has discovered or has recovered 76 artifacts that have been stolen from the country. It also includes pre-Hispanic relics from various lost civilizations in the Andean nation. Most of the archaeological pieces belong to pre-Hispanic styles, while 3 other pieces belong to the Viceroy period. Artifacts were repatriated from nations such as Argentina, Belgium, the United States and Switzerland. Peruvian Foreign Ministry said that most of the recovered objects were returned by institutions and even individuals on a voluntary basis. A major cryptocurrency scandal has hit Hong Kong. The local police is investigating a crypto platform for allegedly siphoning off nearly $179 million. Dubai-based crypto trading platform JPEX has come under Hong Kong police scanner after several investors complained of major losses. More than 10 people, including some popular influencers, have been arrested so far after complaints from over 2,000 people. Local media reports say that this could be one of the biggest financial frauds in Hong Kong, immensely harming its growing reputation as a key hub for virtual assets. After founder Rupert Murdoch announced his resignation as chairman of Foxconn, the company has nominated 2 new board members, one of whom is former Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott. According to a Bloomberg report, Abbott and Margaret Peggy Johnson, a seasoned technology executive, will be running for election at the company's annual meeting in November. They will take their places after Jacques Nasser and Anne Diaz leave.